So I'm so excited today because I'm going to my favorite salon in one of my favorite areas of Mauritius. It's a while away from my house, but I like to go out there specifically because on the right there, it is so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. I get to see the mountains, the trees, the flowers, just everything. Like, I love the vibes when you're driving through Mauritius. I think honestly, everyone should have on their bucket list living in Mauritius for a year and spending time here because it totally elevates your mindset. Like, just the nature alone is crazy. Like, I can't even do it any justice by talking about it. And I am a writer. Like, I write for a living, and I can't even do it any justice by putting it into words. But I'm excited because I'm going for my nail appointment, my favorite nail salon in Beauplan. Shout out to Hair Avenue. You should go there, okay? Man, woman, whoever you are there, I think they're the best. I've been to a few shops here in the north, and no shade, but Hair Avenue is better. It has, the local Mauritians, the local Creoles. They are so good at what they do. These plain nails I'm gonna design today, okay? Today I'm gonna design. I'm going a little overboard because I'm feeling good, so that's what I'm doing, okay? Period. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, Mauritius, like the peace, the stability, the safety. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm caught between two, like I'm at a crossroads. One, because I found out I'm Kenyan. I did not know I was Kenyan, okay? I had no idea that I was Kenyan last week. Before last week, I didn't know. I was like, your girls, Nigerian, Sierra Leonean, something like that. I didn't know that my ancestors came from the Luya tribe of Kenya, okay? And so I'm like, man, I really, 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 really want to go to Kenya, okay? I want to go home. I want to go to Mimi Naumbani. But I'm like, do I go to Kenya? But we have projects to finish up in another country in East Africa. I love Mauritius, and so I understand that these are very privileged decisions, but still decisions nonetheless. I'm very grateful to be able to work with my husband to make these decisions. I'm very grateful that we're talking to our children about these things like, do you want to travel to Kenya? Do you want to stay in Mauritius longer? Do you want to go to South Africa? What do you guys want to do? What do you look forward to doing? And inviting them to live that more elevated life, y'all, the thing. But let me tell you, when I think about both sides, when I think about the peace and stability of the infrastructure in Mauritius, is unmatched. It's the best in Africa, hands down. Like, you just don't find better. Even speaking to people from South Africa, they're like, no, Mauritius is heaven compared to South Africa. Obviously, because a lot of the load shedding, different things that they have going on, no shade, no, nothing like that. But y'all, we don't have load shedding here, y'all. Now, we've been blessed that we moved to like cities that don't have like load shedding even when we are in East Africa, or at least it'll like cut out for like an hour. It won't be like all day type of thing. But y'all already know how I feel about this country, and I'm so glad that I had the audacity to believe in the favor of the Most High, because the same way that I believed in going to East Africa in 2020 was the same way that I believed when I started looking into Mauritius, started praying about it, looking into it. I was like, yeah, he's sending us there. 110 million%. I know it for a fact. I know it to be true reality. I think the safety here is unmatched. That's probably my favorite part. As a mom of multiple children, a wife, I can go out and there's not going to be like a whole bunch of people like trying to talk to me, trying to do all these other things, trying to haggle and trying to negotiate, doing all these things. It's literally just like they're just humans being peaceful, minding their business. They're just chill. They're kind. You meet new Mauritians all the time because we use different taxi drivers, or we'll go to a new area, or we'll, whatever we're doing, trying to diversify and just see what's around. And they're always so welcoming. They're like, you look like an African Creole. You seem like you're from here until you start speaking English. They're like, oh, you're not from here. Okay. But man, it's just like the peace and stability for me is the thing that I think, if I'm honest, I'm like most afraid of losing when leaving Mauritius potentially. Like, if I go to Kenya, if I go to East Africa, if I go somewhere else, I'm like, but is it gonna have the peace and stability? But is it gonna have the peace and stability that I found in Mauritius? Because the crime rates here are non-existent. Because literally South Africans come here, both European descent and African descent, running from South Africa, telling us about it, like the cost of living there is more than Mauritius to some of them. They don't get paid well. They're talking about how like the violence is. They tell us about it, and it's just like, you know, I want to go to South Africa before you said that, right? And they just talking me out of it. They got me like, and Tanzanians would also tell us this about South Africa, so it was already kind of like, and then even here, my brother and my mom have spent time down there, and so even hearing their stories and like, hey, we were told to watch out for this, probably only stay in this certain neighborhood. There's a lot of dynamics going on there. I think Africa is really complicated right now in a good way. It's complicated because many countries are going through revolutions. Many countries are going through a lot of things. There's a lot of changes. Trump's US aid not being there is going to cause a lot of changes in Africa. It's going to cause a whole lot of changes. And I want you to look out. This is why we always speak to our clients about this. You can have your safety index. I have a low non-safety tolerance because I'm a mother with children, multiple children at that, girls and boys, young and older. And so my safety index, like I don't have a big like risk ability when it comes to safety and infrastructure, which is something that actually appeals to me about Kenya, because I've been around Kenyan people. I've employed Kenyan people, and I'm looking at the real estate. I'm like, oh, they kind of remind me of Mauritius, low key. They kind of remind me of the quality of life. That's what I'm loving about Kenya. And they just passed that digital nomad visa, and y'all know I'm on the digital nomad visa. That's why I'm like, Kenya, y'all looking really good, because actually while we were here the first 3 months, we were considering just going to Kenya, and then our premium visa came through. We were like, oh, let's just stay here. Let's stay here. They welcomed us in with open arms. Let's stay here. The process, man, and y'all know we have been through residence and work permit processes in East African countries, and it's a literal nightmare. It's like the corruption and bureaucracy is like a toxic poison that just, it's horrible. But when it was just so refreshing coming here. And so that's one of the decisions that I'm like, man, I love this place, y'all. Like I may decide to explore Kenya, finish up projects in East Africa, and then be like, you know what, I'm going back to Mauritius. Like, who knows what I'm going to be thinking? Literally, who knows where this journey is going to end up taking us? Because, man, I wish y'all could experience. I literally cannot put it into words. I literally cannot. But coming from a society like America, dealing with corrupt societies within Africa, that's why I always tell y'all to look at the least corrupt index, look at the safest countries index. You don't understand these things until you understand the dynamics and live through it. Then you have stories to tell and to consult your clients. This is why we're strategic advisors, so we can point people in the right direction, because there's a list of countries, and Ghana happens to also be on the least corrupt African countries list. This is why you see Ghana flourishing with business. Anywhere you see businesses thrive, this is something I've learned. That means there's a low corruption tolerance. How do I know? Because businesses can only thrive with low corruption. Not that it means there's zero corruption. I'm saying a low corruption tolerance index. But when you see businesses, not only of Chinese, but of African diaspora businesses, African businesses, small businesses that make it out of small business into big business, and that can run for years and years on end, that tells me there's longevity and consistency in that economy. So those are like things that I look for now when I'm looking to explore or diversify or experience a certain region, because I haven't experienced West Africa yet, but that's truly something that sticks out to me about Ghana. For the same reasons I wouldn't necessarily go somewhere like Sierra Leone just yet. I would probably go to visit, but from like an economic standpoint, I see things that are like red flags to me. They'd be like, I don't know if I would invest there, because I don't have a high risk tolerance for, bureaucracy. I just don't. I don't. I'm in like, look, if you can be on code with what's written in the Torah about not defrauding, especially yo people, about not defrauding, then we're good. We're all good. We're cool. If you can follow that, that's why the country list of the least corrupt countries is so important. Botswana's on there, Rwanda's on there, Namibia's on there, Seychelles is on there, Mauritius is on there, Ghana is on there, Senegal is on there. And I'll be looking at Senegal because their business climate, I'm like, absolutely, I would, absolutely. But these are some of my like thoughts right now, because we do need to finish up projects in Africa, East Africa, my bad. We do need to actually go to our motherland. Like, we need to go see Kenya. Like, we can't not go to Kenya. What? And I've been getting the travel itch. Y'all know the travel itch. If y'all been abroad for some amount of time and you're like, oh, I'm getting the travel itch, I need to go travel. I need to go experience a new area. I need to go look around and enjoy this motherland and make new connections. And, you know, so that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm doing today. I was just letting you know what's on my mind, okay? I'll just let you know, because today's a wonderful day. So yeah, I'm gonna go out. I don't know what I'm gonna eat. They don't have my matcha tea there that I really like. So that's the only downside of that particular mall. Yeah, maybe I'll have an almond milkshake at one of my favorite cafes, Artisan Coffee. But yeah, I just love the professional vibes, like the upbeat, high caliber attire in Mauritius. It feels like a startup environment. It's very, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like a startup environment. Like, it feels like an island startup community. People are dressed well. People are in finance. They're CEOs. They're in, you know, whatever they're in, and they're just like living their best life. The locals, they live their best life. They living good. Yesterday we ran into one of our friends and finally got to meet his wife. We've met his sister, his brother, brother and sister. And then we ran into them, got to meet his wife. That was nice, seeing him out. That was cool. So yeah. And it rained so much yesterday, it's not even funny. It literally rained so much. But y'all see, today it's back to being hot and sunny, which I'm not complaining about, okay? I'm not, you know, I'm not going to complain about the warm weather. You know that about me, okay? But yeah, y'all, I'm just like, I have to go to Kenya. When I look at real estate between Mauritius and Kenya, Kenya has a bit of an edge on price, I'm going to be honest, because it looks like similar quality to Mauritius, but the price is righter, better, gooder, okay? And so that's another thing that we're considering. This is why it's good, again, to have your online business. This is why it's good to have that flexibility. Your online business is literally your best route to acquiring wealth, your best route to investing, because with stocks, you may get 4%, you may get 10%, you may get 3%, you may get 20%, but with your business, I've gotten 63% returns in my business, okay? Year on year on year on year on year. My business is my best investment, 100%. Meaning I can put in 1,000, I'm gonna get back 50K in some amount of time. Typically, it would be just a few months, okay? I can put in the work and get it back. I can put in, even if it's not finances I want to put in, I can put in the actual work and then hedge my finances, because my husband is a wealth strategist, and hedge our finances and put in the work. Y'all, it's just a good life. I'm just thankful. I'm so happy. So I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee. I pray that you have a good day. I pray that you get to experience this peace that I'm feeling in Mauritius. I do believe this is a bucket list place. I think everybody should experience this in their lifetime. And then you can decide if you want to stay or if you'd want to come back and retire or whatever the case may be. But I'm so thankful that I get to experience this life. Shout out to the Most High Yah. He is utterly amazing. Shalom, shalom.